Buying property under your own name is a dangerous strategy. That's why I buy them under businesses. Well, I didn't have a business when I first started, so I created them. Yes, you heard that correctly. On my way to becoming a savvy real estate entrepreneur with a portfolio of assets, and then wanting to protect my properties from ex-partners, banks, and potential suers, or is it suees? Is that the right word? We'll assume that sewer is the right word today. Suey sounds like I'm at like a southern hoedown. Sue. Well, I decided not to buy properties under my own name anymore. Instead, I decided to start a business just to register my properties under it and then to see what happens. Well, let me show you how I registered over $3 million in assets under different business entities. By the way, I was just kidding about the ex-partners. I'm not divorced. Not yet anyways. And buying properties is one of the main activities that we engage in as we start investing our money for future returns, or just for that feeling of safety. Now, whether you're buying your first property or whether you already own several, you probably did it under your name. Am I right? Sure, because that's the only way to do it, right? Wrong. Buying properties under your name is financially risky and honestly not very convenient. Although we are constantly preached this theory for which having all of our finances tied to us is a good thing, it actually isn't. How do I know it? Because a friend of mine a couple years ago got into some financial trouble and had his properties attacked both by a suer and by his own wife. There are two solutions to that. One, don't get sued. Two, don't get married. One is unpredictable and the other is not very practical. Now, let me tell you something about a friend of mine, Joe. Now, Joe didn't do any of this and Joe got screwed. Sorry, Joe. Joe was and is a smart investor who owned 4 properties across the state of Washington. One is his personal home that he shared with his partner, and the others are short-term Airbnb rentals. Pretty good business. And all these properties were registered under Joe's name. I know. But wait, everything was going really well until one night a guest at one of the Airbnbs fell down the stairs and got injured. Well, he decides to sue Joe. In the legal battles that they storm against him, they don't just go after the property where they fell, they also go after some of the other Airbnbs. And why not? For them, it's convenient. But the worst is yet to come for Joe. The legal battle shatters Joe's marriage, and after years of courtroom shenanigans, Joe's partner files for divorce. And yeah, in addition to splitting the assets associated with their shared house, Joe's partner also goes after the other rental units. Sweet. Yes, life really sucks for Joe. The poor guy just wanted to rent out his Airbnbs. For this reason, some savvy investors know of this technique through which you have a property shift from being owned by you over to owned by a business. Let me show you how it works and how it can not only protect you, but also boost your investments, whether you're just somebody looking to buy your first home or whether you're an experienced investor. All right, so there's 2 main ways through which you can buy under your businesses, which in most cases will be an LLC, which stands for a limited liability company. Option 1, you could just ask your bank to put your property under your business name. What you need to do is ask the title company to put all the documents under your business entity's name. Confirm this with your lender and let them know that you'll still be the guarantor on the loan. That's because no lender in their right mind will lend anything to a brand new business that you just created without any income, credit, or capital. So ease their concerns, making sure that you are the guarantor. Easy, right? Sure, and if that works, you're set. You're done. Problem is that the lender might say no. So if your bank tells you to go pound sand in the nicest way possible and you don't have any Jedi mind tricks up your sleeve, don't panic just yet because I've got a backup for you. All right, option number 2. This one's called a quitclaim deed, and this is what allows me to transfer my property underneath my new business, or LLC. And the good thing about this second option is that it is not some complicated magical legal mechanism or sleight of hand. First things first. It's actually pretty easy and fast. File a quitclaim deed and shift the property over to your entity's name. That's right, quitclaim deeds are state specific, so make sure you get the right form, duh. What I'd suggest is that you call your local county records office and ask if they have forms there to purchase or if there's a website they'd recommend where you can download them. Pretty easy, right? Now heads up, there may be a clause in your mortgage that says if you transfer the deed of the home to another person or entity, they have the right to call back their loan in full. I've never heard of it happening before in the past, but double check with your lender before doing this. Obviously. In all honesty, this is not only about risk mitigation and avoidance, but also about strategy. Yes, strategy. whether you're an average dude or an experienced investor. Why strategy, you may ask? And why should you do any of this? The answer is because you want to look as poor as possible on paper. Yes, that's right. If you look poor on paper, you create a separation between you and your cash flows and assets. This will give you tax benefits as well. If you want to know more about it, check out the link in the description below and you can get a consultation from my accountant friend Kevin, who is awesome. This tactic of creating separation between you and what you own goes against the idea that we are constantly told over and over again like a mantra, according to which we should buy cars, houses, toys, airplanes, rockets under our names and have all of our finances revolving around us. Well, we shouldn't. When everything is tied to you, technically, the court or whoever is suing you can take everything you touch. That's because having all your assets tied to you is dangerous. You never know what the future holds and you want to be protected. Don't get me wrong, it's common practice for people to buy tons of things under their name without batting an eye. In most cases, it's pretty harmless. But when you're dealing with one home or multiple properties or really anything of high value, you actually don't want all of them under your name, preferably none. Because when your financial assets are connected, they can all fall like dominoes. If only good old Joe registered his property under a business name or multiple entities. It's like betting all of your money on one horse. I didn't. I separated all my assets and I had a banker once even tell me that on paper it seemed like I was homeless and he wasn't even sure if I'd qualify for even a $50,000 loan. But I wasn't homeless. I actually had well over $1 million in assets at that time and had a very steady six-figure income. But because it was all spread out amongst very different entities, I created the illusion that I had less than I really did. So do me a favor, separate, compartmentalize your assets. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something. And if you did, I'm gonna ask a huge favor from you. Destroy that like button just down below. It takes you 2 seconds. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm and makes a world of difference for me and the channel. I love you guys all, and I'll see you in the next video. Kai out.